100% loyalty as President Tinubu decorates new service chiefs. Senate passes motion stopping nationwide strike by the Nigerian Labour Congress over subsidy removal. And later on the show, President Tinubu says more than 1 trillion naira saved since subsidy removal, approves buses for student union government nationwide, and rejects arbitrary increase of fees by federal schools. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Adewale Adeoye. If you are ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with the decoration of the newly appointed service chiefs with their new ranks. President Bola Tinubu has charged them to maintain teamwork and ensure peace and stability in the country. The president stressed the importance of teamwork, which he credited as being responsible for the gains recorded so far in the fight against insecurity. Let's share the story with you.
The new service chiefs are decorated with their new ranks by President Bola Tinubu. This is a final confirmation of their appointments and a pass mark of confidence on their competence and capacity. President Bola Tinubu wants an improved cooperation between the security agencies and urged them to serve the country diligently in carrying out the task of tackling all threats to national security.
No matter how diverse we are one family, staying in the same house, but living in different rooms. And you are promoting that peace and stability on behalf of all of us and for all of us. May God Almighty grant you peace, progress, and success.
The expectations from the service chiefs is even more higher with the promotion to their new ranks. The service chiefs must respond to the insecurity in some parts of the country that continues to disrupt the safety of lives and property.
So I can assure Nigerians that you have the best team ever, and we're ready to work and we're hitting the ground running. In fact, I'm sure those videos you are seeing are very old videos. Of recent, you hardly ever hear any issue of welfare, shortage, non-payment of salaries. Every soldier is entitled to his pay, and we ensure that they get their pay. The service chiefs are doing a wonderful job, ensuring that the pays and allowances are received as at when due.
He chose the best of the best from each service. His choice also depicts inclusion. No region is left out of this exercise, and the good thing is that merit was placed on the front burner. So we have no doubt that it's a new dawn. We have no doubt that insurgency may be a thing of the past. We have no doubt that the ECOWAS issues we have may also be resolved.
Nigeria has recorded an unprecedented spike in security challenges in the last 10 years. The defense budget also continues to rise without having a significant impact on efforts to keep the country safe. Now, it is not only the new ranks that will be placed on the shoulders of the service chiefs. The peace and security of the country also rests on their shoulders as they execute the directives of the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Femi Akonde, TVC News.
In PP name, the Chief of Defense Staff stands right above everybody as a full-star, two-star general, and the Chief of Army Staff, a Lieutenant General, and so on and so forth like that. So, good to go now.
Yes, a Brigadier General is a one-star general, a Major General is a two-star general, a Lieutenant General is a three-star general, a full general is a four-star general. That's what he is. So he's above everyone. In the army, that's what they are called. They are it's a four-star general. Okay. You know, you may see just one eagle here.
Two eagles.
You know,
or 2 stars. 2 stars, 1 eagle, and 1 sword.
The point that I'm making is that it's a 4-star general.
Yeah, I get it.
Yes. So the others are not office level.
Yes.
So that you can have that control over over everyone. So it's important to have that control because he's the coordinator of the service chiefs. When there's a joint operation, he takes charge. He's also the person in charge of all the training institutions of the armed forces, Command and Staff College, NDA, the War College in Abuja. All of those training institutions are under him. So he needs to have firm control over them, and that's why he's placed higher than everyone. The Chief of Army Staff too placed higher than anybody under his control, so that at least
Lieutenant General.
Yeah, so that he can exercise full control, especially his commanders. The people, those who are his own mates, they usually transfer them to the defense headquarters, where they sit in the offices to avoid direct contact by way of command, to avoid direct command, because if they are controlling military formations, they have to take instruction from him. So to find a way around that, they usually send them to defense headquarters. That's where they will stay until they are retired. The president continues to hammer on the need for, what's it called, for unity amongst them, for teamwork. That's why I said, look, we are all members of the same family, in the same house, but in different rooms. He wants them to work together because the progress that these guys made, the immediate past service chiefs, was largely due to the fact that unlike the people who were there before them, these ones were working together from day one. And that percolates even to their own juniors, to the officers under them. They can see that when it is Salah time, the service chiefs come together, they go to Maiduguri, they address the troops together. Before now, it was not like that. You just see the chief of air staff will meet his own troops during Salah, give them a lavish, what's it called, lunch. The other person was doing his own. I said it here before that they were not even attending mosque at the same mosque. No one will come and say, Jide, you lied, because they know it's the truth. And soldiers didn't like that fact. It was sending the wrong signal. But this
never work in harmony.
No, because, and I think it was promoted, that behavior was promoted by the conduct of the president himself.
It was aloof.
The president was, he left them for too long, and the impression was given that, okay, by the time it's time to do a shake-up, one of them will simply be promoted to chief of defense staff. So you started seeing politics being played. We've never had that level of disharmony between service chiefs. Everyone wanted to be the chief of defense staff. You know? So, but it's just better we forget about that era and focus on those who are there now. If you see the operation going on against IPOB now, you know that Lagwaja is not joking. The level of operation going on, the arrest that they are making, the frontal attack on those people's bases, their training camps, you know that we are not joking. And those who in that area who are familiar with military operations will know that, yes, for the first time, these guys are facing the heat. That is what we want. Somebody also sent a message to me from Southern Kaduna. He said, Jide, we have to admit that there is progress now. There has to be progress. When I spoke with the chief of defense staff, I said, see, you are coming in at a time when they are wasting people in what's it called? This mango. I said, if you don't put an end to this nonsense, people will start judging you by it. And they said, Jide, don't worry, we'll do something. I know what to do. They've restored normalcy. At least we've not had, before it was almost
for a month. Back to the
almost every day they were killing people. But now, at least it has stopped. The military went into the bush with them. We can see the chief of army staff also went there to tell those guys that, look, I'm not joking. Finish off these people so that we can have peace. And that's what the president is saying. Let us work hard so that our people can have peace. And I'm sure Nigerians are very appreciative people. If they can see that these guys are making progress, they will be the first to come out to say, yes, we have a good crop of service chiefs.
Wale, it's very important that there's a kind of synergy among these guys. Working together will do us a lot of good. Because right now, we need that internal security.
Yes, I think it's like a football team. You know, you have striker, you have defense, you have the goalkeeper. You know, it's important that they all work together. Even though you always think that the striker is the most important because he's the one that scores. But he cannot score without the midfielder. And if he keeps on scoring without a good goalkeeper, you know, the whole thing will be destabilized. So there's always the need for them to work together. No one is more important than the other. One complements the other. And I think the appointment of the service chiefs is a very unique opportunity for them as individuals. It's a dream of every soldier, either in the Navy, in the Air Force, to get to the peak. And only very few people can achieve that peak. Very few. You know, you can only have chief of army staff, only one at a time. So it's a rare privilege for them. And when they were talking about their loyalty 100%, of course, that is the way it's supposed to be. Because it's well defined in the Constitution under Section 217, subsection 2, that they need to be loyal to the country, they need to defend democratic values, they need to uphold the tenets of democracy. That is what we expect them to do. And let us say that we need to give kudos to our military. Because since 1999, we have had successful civilian to civilian transition.
To their barracks.
Irrespective of the challenges, you know, we are moving forward, even though it's very slow. So I hope they keep to their words. They are new. So we expect new strategy, new tactics in order to make Nigeria safer and to defend the sovereign integrity of the country. So I wish them good luck. And we hope they'll be able to sustain the new tempo. There's no doubt that each of them, you know, reading all through their, you know, credentials, I think we are lucky to have this team. And we are looking forward to, you know, the best to come out of them.
It's good to reaffirm their commitments at this time. We're looking at what is happening in the West African sub-region.
Yes.
That you have like 6 countries under military threat, and with what just happened in the Niger Republic, that our military, they are not going to try and pull any stunts on the democratically elected administration.
Yes, I like the use of the word stunt. We don't want to see anything like that. The children of anger who are asking the military to take over in Nigeria, they do not know the meaning of military.
Going to the defense.
Some of them were not born. You know, some of them were not born when we had Abacha. When we had Abacha, we lost people to Abacha's downright wickedness, you know. People were disappearing, people were being killed, people were pulled out of their homes. And he had a so-called anti-terrorism unit that was actually being used to kill
terrorize people.
You know, so these ones were not born, or at that time they were still in their diapers, clearly having stools in their diapers and going around like a headless chicken. So they don't know.
Abacha died in 1998.
Yes, some of them were not born then. They don't even know.
Yes.
You know, I was telling you, my younger sister's son, who said, how are you people coping without internet?
I mean, internet just came when?
He was saying that, is it possible for a world to exist?
Yes, without phone. Internet? And phone just came 2001 here. Yeah.
And we worked without the internet. We worked without phones. And we delivered excellent work. Not these days when every journalist thinks that he does not have to put in an extra shift. He thinks that he does not have to add an extra line to a developing story. He's rushing to the internet. He's looking for something to copy.
Background.
Background. Go to the library and...
What is it? When you see a story, what should bother you is how to make that story better. You add your own line to it. You add your own line in good language. Good language. Those who trained us will say, look, let the verbs do the talking. Leave the adjectives. Let the verbs do the talking. You know? So people do not even, these days, the culture of working hard has diminished rapidly. Everyone wants to rush to the internet. Somebody rush and syndication of stories.
Copy and paste. Plagiarism.
A friend of mine said, okay, they even that somebody copied his story.
We'll never
But the point that, just hold on. He copied it and they pasted it. And his phone number got published in the story.
His own phone number.
Yes. In one of the national dailies. His phone number at the base of the story was published.
That's copy and paste.
Total copy and paste. In those days, when Elijah Muhammad and his team used to write those excellent press releases, they would simply remove the first paragraph of Elijah Muhammad's story, remove the last paragraph, reintroduce it, and just pass it like that. There was a story that we did that one newspaper in the FCT area copied, a story of more than 25 paragraphs. This guy merely reintroduced our story and just sent it like that. And that story itself was supervised by one of the most senior editors in our country, and it still went like that. Meaning that what we actually call supervision is people just looking at what are the stories on the headline, on the front pages. Let us see front page. Let's go to back page, sports, and that's all. You have supervised. You've done the work for the day. People who plagiarized on an industrial scale, you cannot even spot them. You can't spot them, and it becomes an embarrassment. So I mean, there are so many things that when you just think about it, what this internet has done. The internet is the best invention since light, but it has caused, along with it, all kinds of problems. Made people lazier, made people more irresponsible, made people less accountable. We'll talk about the internet.
All right, moving on now. For a strike-weary country like Nigeria,